This is a recording of Disney demo in the practice of making stop losses, placing stop losses, and I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to practice as many days as possible on this video. I'm going to talk it through. The stock is trading above yesterday's. So if I look at this, actually that's the open. And this is the previous day's high right there. This is the close. And essentially that's the open right there. That's the open from yesterday. That's the high of yesterday. That's the low of yesterday. That's the open. So the stock is trading above yesterday's trading range, and it is very bullish. And Dow Jones is bullish as well. It's moving. It's going up. So I'm going to now practice the usage of stops and go from here. I'm going to keep practicing. So I'm just waiting for entry. That big red candle does not bode well. Right there. This is actually January 2nd of 2018. So I suspected something like this will happen. So if I were to enter right now, I would enter here. I would enter here and I would put a stop loss right there. So if it fell below here, it would get me out. So I would say that right here is the exit point right there. If I were to have already gotten in for a long, I suspect that because it actually is starting above here, it's going to be a bullish day. And so if I were to get in here, I could. So I'm going to buy 100 shares. Okay. Okay, so Disney. All right. Okay, so right there, right there. 105 is way down here. So let's see here. 108 is here. And so buy, and what is that? What's the number? Okay. These numbers are behaving a little weird. 108.73. So let's buy it. Okay. Oh, it's bought. It's bought already. Now I have the stop loss right here. Which means, based on this transaction here, I'm going long. And obviously, based on this, it looks like it wants to go down. But now it's time to set a stop loss. So I come over here, and I'm going to put the stop loss at about, I'm going to set the stop loss at, I'd say, I'm going to give it about 50 cents. So around there. That's about 50 bucks. Okay, I set it. Now, when I look at the chart, so let's go to Disney. So here we go. So that's actually too low. So let's go up here, right there. Okay. My stop loss is right here because I know that if it falls below here, it has a potential to drop far more based on this trade that I made. So I have a 1 minute chart, and most likely it's going to hit. Looks like it's going to hit based on this trend here. I can already see that it's most likely it's going to hit. I'm going to lose a little bit of money right here. It looks like a bad trade. It just looks like a bad trade. Because what I should be looking at is the back end, not the front end. This is essentially the front end of a trade. I should be looking for this to right here. It should be at par. It should be at par with this line here, so that it's indicating to me that it's on the backside. It needs to be on the backside, but it's not showing me yet. Now it is actually broken through this downward transaction here, and it's actually below the VWAP, which means that it's bearish. It's essentially indicating that it's a bearish trade. So now it's actually coming back up. So I have my stop loss set. Now, when I look at this, what is my profit target based on this here? Based on this is essentially the long term, maybe a week or two a range, and it will not get there within 1 day. So if I were to look to here, I would say that perhaps the next resistance would be here, and another resistance here. That's what I'm thinking. That's where the selling occurred. So I would say that based on here, this would be the support area. Okay. So let's go back to the trade. So far it's going up. That's resistance right there. That's resistance. And I'm thinking that's going to be the support, which is essentially, if I looked at this here, yeah, it is support. Look at that. It is support. Look at that. That is support. And then it actually maintained its support from here because oh, that's interesting. So let's go back to the trade and see where it is. Before, so for an intraday kind of a thing, that's where the resistance was. This is where the resistance was. There was a slight hesitation here. Now it's going to move over here, and when it gets to this point, it's going to experience some resistance. Again, I already set my stop loss. So my stop loss could be set right here because now this is becoming a support. It's above VWAP. That little candle right there, it's engulfing. Okay, actually, that is an indication that it wants to go down. So now it's actually at the high of today, which was actually the pre-market high. It has eclipsed the pre-market high. The resistance here, it's reaching this resistive area here. Which I suspect it is. This is also showing smaller candle, which means that it is essentially exhibiting a tiring of the upward trajectory in the Dow as well. right here. These candles, the bigger they are, it is expressing a stronger interest in moving, the trend is moving higher. Now, if I look at the QQQ is going back up, and the VIX is it's not updating right now. What I can do is move this stop loss up here so that I can maintain my gain. Because if it falls below here, it means that it has a chance to go down more. So one leg up. So now I'm going to put it right here. I moved up my stop loss so that if it hits here, it's going to get me out. But I got in here, which means that I have this much profit. Again, if it goes up here, I'm going to move this stop loss up here. If the trade had gone the other way, I would have been stopped out already. Again, it's still bullish. This is an indication that it's very bullish. And so far, it's gone up about almost $2, which is quite a bit for Disney. It is actually on the upper range of average trading range. So it's up about $1.95 so far. And it's going to, it had a slight tiresome impact here. Now, I'm going to keep practicing. So that little wick right there, it attempted to go, but it was like sold down. So it brought it all the way back down here. But it's still, it looks like it still has some momentum. Not as strong as here, but there seems to be some momentum here. So what I can do is move this guy up here so that if it falls below here, most likely it is possible. So I can move right here. I'll move that up again, just a little bit, to help my trade go up and up. That is just indicating to me that it's going to fall. Look at that. Look at that candle. I have in mind a profit that I want, and I have a stop loss that's been placed, which I have. Wow, interesting. I can figure out how much I can make based on just utilizing my stop loss. My stop loss essentially is my limit order, essentially. That's something that I have, that's very interesting. So by just using my stop loss, I can figure out, see, you see how it just bounced off right there? You see that? Because that became a support right here. Right here, see that? It attempted to come back down. It went up, and then it attempted to come back down, but there was some buying that's going on, which brought it back up. And it's ping-ponging between the resistance and support. But this is just saying that this is a higher high and lower high, basically. So unless it makes an upper move, it'll most likely, there we go, it's sold out. I got stopped out. This is a way that I can use, so it's trail. So I can use trailing stop to create it allows me to essentially, if there is profit, I can just trail it, and make the gains. And so if it somehow reverses and comes down, I can maintain my profit right there. You see how that works? Oh, look at that. So this is telling me that right there, if I see this, I mean, whoa. So that little wick right there got me out. That little wick right there. So what I should have done was essentially right here was the point that I should have placed my stop loss so that it is slightly below this, which essentially equates to this point here. Now it's coming back up. So that is telling me, so this is something that I have not, I was not aware of. I thought I needed both a limit order and like the one cancels the other kind of a situation. But what I can do is set my stop loss to act both as a limit order and a stop loss. Because as long as I'm moving the stop loss up, it behaves like my limit order. And so the so there has to be a reason to sell. There has to be a reason to sell. And when the stock breaches a support, then that is a reason to sell.